Was I paying a rehoming fee for the birds that have found their way to me? That is a great question. So what I did was I wrote down the past 100 birds that have been in my care, and that makes for some really easy percentages. 26% had an adoption fee. 11% came from a pet store, and 63% were taken in no charge. And you might call that a rescue or an adoption, which is honestly incorrect both ways, because an adoption doesn't exist for an animal. In the eyes of the law, it's a purchase. But people get really mad when you say used bird. Sometimes I get hate mail when I jokingly say certified pre-owned birds. And then rescue, I don't know if you get a bird from a rescue, is it still a rescue or did you just adopt it? I mean, rescue implies that there's like a sad story, and that's not generally the case. Anyways, I do want to say I have no experience buying directly from a breeder, though I do know some great ones thanks to organizations such as the AFA and ASA, or people who have just befriended me on social media. Averages. $532 on average was the adoption fee. If you break that down, it was about $50 to $100 for lovebirds and cockatiels, $500 for medium-sized birds such as grays and Amazons, and macaws were closer to $1,000. The outliers will be very special species like goldens and hyacinths. For the purchases, the average comes to $676, but that's not really fair because 6 out of the 11 were really small birds in the beginning of my experience. I've been keeping birds for 22 years. That's really not that long because there's people that have been doing it for 50 or 70 years, and there's so much to learn from them. I started right out of high school, though I did breed pigeons as a kid and had some experience with like ducks and doves. I've never bred birds. I've not bought from a breeder, but I do love the pet industry, and I spent my 20s working in it. That's where we get the name Blue Planet Pets, because that's what I wanted to call my very own store someday. In all, I think it's fine. I think that no matter how you choose to have a bird in your life, as long as you're doing right by the bird and you're being responsible, there's nothing wrong with that. I really like the challenge of taking on a bird that was difficult for other people. So when I say rescue, I'm not implying that I am a rescue. I am not a rescue. Have I rescued birds? Sure. In that past 100, there's been some. And then, beyond that 100, there were birds that I used to take in when I worked in the pet industry and find them homes. I wrote down the names of birds that really helped me gain experience that I share with you here. So I could talk about it forever, but I think we'll leave it there.